You give him the number one contender, Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if John Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
Aspinall versus Gane is a massive transitional fight for the heavyweight division. Now, you got to understand where we're at. And I'm a checkers player. When it comes to matchmaking, that is a unique skill and vision. But I will always go with low-hanging fruit. It's just the way my mind works. I take the biggest fight for right now.
Ciryl Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170-pounder. He's bouncing like Wonder Boy. Completely changed the standard of heavyweight striking.
Can Ciryl Gane beat Tom Aspinall?
MMA fighters and analysts have started weighing in on the highly anticipated showdown between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane. Aspinall himself has made it clear he sees Gane as a worthy opponent when it comes to speed and movement, but believes he holds the edge with his grappling and raw knockout power. He pointed to his finishing record as proof, stressing that at heavyweight, all it takes is one clean connection to change everything. Aspinall even revealed that in his last fight, he wasn't loading up on every strike, expecting the matchup to last 5 full rounds. Yet, despite holding back, he still walked away with a knockout. To him, that's evidence of just how dangerous his striking can be when he really lets his shots go.
I think I match up pretty well against him. I think I'm equally as fast as him. I move equally as well. The difference is I can grapple. I've got a lot of power. And I think that's pretty undeniable at this stage of my career. I've got a lot of knockouts on my record, mate. I have to touch you once, and I wasn't even throwing heavy tonight. I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder. I didn't mean to knock him out. I was pretty sure that was going to be a 5-round fight tonight, and just takes one shot, mate, at heavyweight especially.
Tom Aspinall went on to say that after more than a year of setbacks and delays, the long-awaited fight with Ciryl Gane is finally locked in, set for October 25th in Abu Dhabi. It will be the 4th time the two have been scheduled to meet. And for Gane, this marks his 3rd chance at UFC gold. Aspinall made his intentions clear. His mission isn't just to win, but to shut the door on Gane's championship aspirations once and for all.
Finally, we're back after over a year hiatus. Cyril finally signed on the dotted line. This is the 4th time we've been matched up together. And now we are matched up for the 25th of October, Abu Dhabi. Me and Cyril. The 4th attempt is here, and this is Cyril's 3rd title shot. We are going to try and get rid of Ciryl Gane from the title picture for good.
Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall has been spotted in training camp, putting in brutal sparring sessions ahead of his showdown with Ciryl Gane. Reports out of camp describe him as sharp, explosive, and laser-focused, pushing himself to the limit in every round as he gears up for the heavyweight clash.
Let's go!
On the other side, Ciryl Gane has been grinding just as hard, putting his trademark power and fluid movement on display in training. His sessions highlight crisp striking combinations, footwork that's rare for a heavyweight, and the raw strength that keeps him one of the most dangerous threats in the division. Tom Aspinall stressed that pressure doesn't break him, it fuels him. While some fighters can look like killers in training but freeze when the moment arrives, he says is the opposite. The noise, the hype, the trash talk, none of it distracts him. On October 25th, when he faces Ciryl Gane, it won't be about what was said beforehand. It will be about who can deliver when the cage door closes and the spotlight is brightest.
You know, there's the guys who I've trained with from my experience who in the gym are absolute killers, absolute world beaters, and they'll get in a fight and they'll just freeze up and it doesn't work like it does in the gym. They fight way worse. And there's other guys like myself, anytime there's pressure on me, that's when I've done my most devastating performances. Oh, talk's just talk to me, right? It doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, we're both going to take our shirts off, get a pair of gloves on and go in there and see who wins on October 25th. So it's not really going to change anything, to be honest.
Henry Cejudo weighed in, saying that matching Tom Aspinall with top contender Ciryl Gane is a major leap forward. He pointed out that Gane is a big, athletic heavyweight who brings unique challenges, and he doesn't believe Aspinall will steamroll him the way he has others. Cejudo added that this fight is not only a crucial test for Tom, but it could also set the stage for whether Jon Jones makes his return to chase the heavyweight crown.
You give him the number one contender, Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if Jon Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
Kamaru Usman shared his thoughts, saying that Ciryl Gane doesn't always get the credit he deserves. He described Gane as a versatile heavyweight who can move fluidly around the cage and attack with a wide arsenal of strikes, punches, kicks, and elbows, making him a very complete and dangerous opponent. At the same time, Usman acknowledged that Tom Aspinall's speed, sharp boxing, and knockout power make it hard to pick against him, which is why this matchup feels so compelling.
Ciryl Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
Daniel Cormier weighed in by saying that the long-awaited clash between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane is exactly the kind of fight fans have been asking for. While oddsmakers seem to suggest it's a fairly one-sided matchup, listing Aspinall as the clear favorite, Cormier pushed back on that narrative. He argued that the fight is much closer than the numbers make it seem, pointing out that Gane's skill set makes this a very competitive showdown.
And we finally got Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Chill, we've been screaming about this Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane for a long time. UFC 321, Tom minus 325, Gane plus 260. We finally got the fight. But the world doesn't seem to believe, Chael, that it's a close fight. And I don't really agree with that line. I think this fight is much closer. Tom Aspinall minus 325, Ciryl Gane plus 265.
Joe Rogan highlighted just how unique Ciryl Gane is as a heavyweight, pointing out that at 6 feet 5 inches and nearly 250 pounds, he moves with the fluidity of a much smaller fighter. Rogan even compared his footwork and mobility to someone like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He explained that Gane has redefined what striking looks like in the heavyweight division, but the big question remains, can he apply that style effectively against someone as complete and dangerous as Tom Aspinall?
Ciryl Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170-pounder. He's bouncing like Wonderboy. Completely changed the standard of heavyweight striking.
Can Ciryl Gane beat Tom Aspinall?
Matt Brown weighed in, saying that while both men are under pressure heading into this fight, Tom Aspinall carries the heavier burden. He explained that Aspinall represents the future and credibility of the heavyweight division, and his legacy could take a hit if he stumbles. Brown argued that if Ciryl Gane wins, it could raise further doubts about the strength of the division, but if Aspinall proves himself on this stage, it solidifies him as the true elite of the heavyweight class. Even a close fight or a minor slip-up, Brown suggested, could change the way fans and analysts view Aspinall's place in the division.
It's almost an unfair comparison, right? When we talk about pressure versus pressure, everybody's under tremendous pressure. But I guess when you kind of look at it from not just pressure, but potential legacy and career and what's on the line, I think it's hard to not go with Tom Aspinall because the heavyweight division is on the line. If Gane goes in and beats him, no disrespect to Gane, love the guy, the heavyweight division loses a lot of respect. Even if Tom goes out there and it's a close fight or he gets dropped and then has to come back or something, like, the heavyweight division has so little respect right now, probably deservedly so, I think. You know, with Gane getting his third title shot in a couple years, like, Tom has to show that he is the heavyweight division. You know, he has to prove that to the world. Like, I am, you know, the heavyweight division's not just, but like, I'm so good that the heavyweight division is, right? This is kind of his thing that he has to go out there and prove to the world.
Matt Brown also pointed out that the outcome could shape the heavyweight division's future, especially when it comes to Jon Jones. He explained that Jones will be paying close attention, searching for any flaws or openings in Aspinall's game that could impact future matchups. With the heavyweight division already battling for respect, Brown emphasized that this fight carries extra weight for Aspinall's career. A win could solidify him as the man to beat, while any stumble could shift the entire landscape.
If he goes out there and loses to Gane, the division already is not respected, that brings Tom down significantly, I think, right? And of course, the potential John Jones fight, which is whatever, who knows, right? Like how he beats Gane, assuming he does, may play a factor too. Like if it turns out to be a close fight, again, John's going to be on his phone with Twitter open watching this fight, like just waiting for Tom to and get dropped, get leg kicked and limping a little bit, or you know what I mean? John can't wait for that moment.
Michael Bisping echoed many of the same views, stressing that Tom Aspinall has already torn through some of the toughest names in the division, finishing the likes of Curtis Blades, Sergey Pavlovich, and Alexander Volkov in dominant fashion. But he cautioned that Ciryl Gane presents a unique challenge, bringing a rare mix of size, speed, and athleticism. Bisping even compared both men to heavyweight versions of Georges and Pierre, praising their all-around skill sets. Still, he reminded fans that Gane's weakness in grappling was made clear in his fight with John Jones, and that same flaw could once again prove costly against Aspinall.
Now, when you look at the UFC heavyweight rankings, as I say, Tom has beat most of them, and he's beat them in style, and he's knocked them all out. Curtis Blades, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov, whoever they are, he's beaten them all up. But Ciryl Gane is a little bit different. Now, of course, John Jones beat Ciryl Gane in quick fashion, took him down in the first round, submitted him with a front choke. But Ciryl Gane is the same as Tom Aspinall in terms of athletic ability. When I say that Tom Aspinall is a heavyweight George St. Pierre, that kind of goes to Ciryl Gane as well. The man's gigantic. He's very quick. He's agile. He's light on his feet. He could run any sport on the planet. And he's almost like George St. Pierre and Tom Aspinall in the fact that he's got all those athletic attributes and qualities, but he doesn't have the grappling. That's what cost him against John Jones. And that's probably what's going to cost him against Tom Aspinall. You never know. He could clip him. This is a dangerous fight. This is heavyweight MMA.
Bisping stressed that Aspinall's grappling, something he has been sharpening since his teenage years, could be the deciding factor, especially with his father always reminding him to lean on it. While he recognized the threat of Gane's striking and admitted that heavyweight fights are never predictable, Bisping leaned toward Aspinall to pull through. He also suggested that John Jones will no doubt be watching carefully. And if Aspinall doesn't handle Gane as decisively as Jones once did, fans can expect Jones to speak up about it.
But Tom Aspinall can grapple. We've seen him take people down. He's done jiu-jitsu since he was about 15 years old. His dad is going to be on his case, and that's an absolute fact, saying, hey, you're not messing with this guy. Take him down. Show him what you can do. Show the world your grappling capability. Remember, Ciryl Gane turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler, okay? So he's a very, very credible threat on the feet. But of course, I do fancy Tom Aspinall to get the job done. The fact that he isn't fighting John Jones is insane, but we've talked about that till the cows come home, so I'm not going to bore you on that subject anymore. But just you wait. John Jones is probably going to pop up on Twitter. If he doesn't beat Ciryl Gane as fast as what John did, guarantee we're going to get some...
Ciryl Sonnen broke down the significance of the upcoming showdown between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane, calling it a defining moment for the heavyweight division. He framed it as a transitional matchup, one that could reshape the future of the weight class. Sonnen admitted that his usual style of matchmaking leans toward simplicity. Book the biggest fight available right now instead of overcomplicating things. Still, he acknowledged that at times the sport requires a more strategic, chess-like approach, where long-term implications outweigh short-term excitement. He also pointed out that, according to Gane, this fight has already been lined up and fallen through several times before. In Sonnen's eyes, finally making it happen is crucial for both the rankings and the credibility of the division.
Aspinall versus Gane is a massive transitional fight for the heavyweight division. Now, you got to understand where we're at. And I'm a checkers player. When it comes to matchmaking, that is a unique skill and vision. But I will always go with low-hanging fruit. It's just the way my mind works. I take the biggest fight for right now. But sometimes you're playing chess. And I admire the guys that can do that. I admire the guys that can stand back, look at the board, not think about what's right now, think about what could be. Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall. According to Ciryl Gane, he just did an interview. They tried to make this fight 4 times. And for rankings and for the integrity of our rankings, I get it.
Ciryl Sonnen went on to break down the striking matchup, noting that Ciryl Gane isn't just a heavyweight. He's a decorated kickboxer with an extensive professional background, boasting close to 30 wins against only a handful of defeats. That level of experience, Sonnen explained, makes Gane a threat to anyone who tries to trade with him. On the flip side, Tom Aspinall has built his reputation on finishing fights the same way, standing on the feet and landing crushing shots that put opponents away. With 6 knockout victories inside the UFC alone, Aspinall has shown that his power can end a fight at any moment. Sonnen highlighted that both men thrive in stand-up exchanges, but the contrast between Gane's polished kickboxing resume and Aspinall's raw knockout power makes this one of the most intriguing stylistic matchups in the division.